I felt freezing. Like it was just not below temperature. Imagine you put your aircon on to like 60. Yeah, it felt that. But there was no fan, nothing in the room at that point. But I was shivering cold. Wow. And I remember just being really weak and crying at that point. Because this whole situation didn't get a grasp for me until like maybe a few years later that I'm like, oh damn, that was a possession. I think something really went into my body and just took over. And I will tell you first, like, it's terrifying.
We believe you.
And we're back
to another episode of
Naik Bulu Tales.
My name is Fairil.
And I'm Moe.
And we are here again to share more ghost stories with you guys.
Real life experiences.
Real life experiences, that's what we're all about. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. We've been looking at our analytics, and I think it's like 90% of you guys watch, but don't subscribe. So, subscribe, please. Help us out.
This is my co-host, the other nagger, telling the kids, hey.
Please. Emoji, this one.
Yes, and don't forget to share our YouTube.
Yeah.
Check out our IG and TikTok, Naik Bulu Tales. And tell your friends about us. And we are also on Spotify up till episode 15, and we're still uploading them.
Yeah, so I hope you guys have been enjoying our episodes for 2025. I think we've been doing a lot of trial and error on different things, trying to see what you guys are, how engaged you guys are with our stories and stuff like that. So we're going to keep trying and trying to make it better and better for you guys.
So we do this for you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll still researching on like the haunted place that we want to explore. We talked about Kelly's Castle, someone domestic. Sabah, man, we want to go to Sabah. That's so quiet.
I know you guys have been saying that you guys have been wanting us to churn out more content every single week. We apologize for that because I've been busy with work, but we will try our best to keep it on. But Moe.
All right.
Shall we get to the...
We have a very, 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 very special guest. Well, everybody is special, but every time they're on, it's like extra special. Because they're with us. Yeah. And he kindly responded to the call to action of Naik Bulu Tales story, looking for a guest in a short amount of time. And he was very kind and very responsive. And that's why we're excited to talk to him, because he's got a couple of pretty...
And he has a podcast too, which we'll talk about a little bit.
Well, let's let him chat. Okay, so without further ado, welcome Nick Dorian.
Hello, you guys.
What's up?
Thank you for having me on the podcast. I feel extra special.
It's so funny. I'm so glad you're here, because the only time we see you is at film premieres.
Yeah, exactly.
Local film premieres.
Yeah.
And going into that is what...
Oh yeah, because that's what I predominantly do. I'm a film reviewer. I have a channel called Clappercorn where we do like 90-second review videos of things. We have a podcast. We have all kinds of stuff on our social media pages. So make sure you follow that at Clappercorn. I've also done Geeks in Malaysia. We've been doing that since 2012. And I also write film reviews for the media outlet Goggler.
Nice. So a lot of things.
I love my films.
I love that you're a cinephile. Yes. Like looking in a mirror.
You guys can probably have hours and hours discussion about these things.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially with candlelight.
Yes.
That's what we're gonna...
It'll be extra romantic.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, we are excited to hear your ghost story.
This is a story that not a lot of people know of.
So you guys are, in for a treat.
Yeah, only my close personal friends know this story. So when you put out the call, I was like, maybe now is time. Because we've been bumping into each other at film premieres, and I'm like, how do I get myself on your podcast?
Hey man, all you need to do is ask.
We've been elevated to close personal friends. Yeah. Everybody witness here.
It's all on camera, so we all know.
Yeah, I mean, but go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
Okay, let me set it up for you. Okay, so at that point, I was filming a TV show. Like, I was about 10 years old. So I was filming a TV show for Maybank, of all banks. They had this collaboration with the Hercules Disney film. So it was about the smartest, strongest kids in Malaysia. So we had a math genius on, we had a girl that could pull a truck with her hair, all those kinds of things. So every day would be on set. And during that time, there was a bit of a family tragedy, I would say.
Right.
And we had to move houses into Bangsar. Now this house it looked fairly normal. Like, it looked like every other house in Bangsa, like semi-D, kind of furnished with some old furniture here and there. Didn't think too much of it. So we started moving in, and that's when things started happening. So as they were doing the electrical work and whatnot at night, one of the employees, the construction people, taped, like, he had a video camera with him. He taped basically the TV turning on and off to start with. And then once that started happening, and literally like in the movies just showing static screen and whatnot, then a VHS tape started coming in and out.
Wow.
And it was just, okay, that clearly something is there to start with.
You know, the first thing I thought of is in Poltergeist.
That was my first thought. Exactly. And I always like to say my life is like a movie, which is why I'm so into movies, and this is something straight out of that.
Right.
Love it.
But I don't know why we didn't think too much by it. We're like, alah, hantu lah. We just get one bomo come in and sort something out lah.
Another Friday night.
So next day we got a Taoist priest to come bless the place, and we thought, okay lah, all over. Fast forward to 2 days later, and I was on set, and all of a sudden, macam like, I felt so dizzy, like to the point that I just had to sit down on the floor, like I couldn't do anything, and then I started violently vomiting. And not like the cut. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit too graphic at this point, but it's very relevant to the story, trust me. It's not like, you know, when you've maybe partied a bit too hard, you go to the bathroom, you vomit. It's like, no, this was like projectile. Like
Exorcist style.
it was kind of almost Exorcist style.
Dang.
Oh man.
I was just spewing to the point that I was feeling very weak. So of course they were like, okay, maybe he has a bit of a fever. They didn't know at that point because my temperature was rising. I was vomiting all over, and I just couldn't get up off the floor. I was so dizzy. So they brought me back to the house because that was the only house that we had at that point. We had sold off the other house, so we were sort of living in this house while the electrics and all that was still trying to get sorted. So brought me back to the house, and everything between the TV set to the house, I have no clue. I don't know how I got to the house, but I know that I was there, and I remember the room as clear as day. There was just one mattress there, and it was a cupboard on the right side, a door, and a blank white wall. We got to the house, and my mother lied me down, and apparently I couldn't speak. Like, literally no words were coming out of my mouth. It felt like I was being trapped in my own body in that sense. Like, I couldn't get out. And so they called the Taoist priest back over to try and do something. And during that time, again, vomiting non-stop, like just vomiting into a bucket, and it's very graphic.
Sounds exhausting though.
It was.
Yeah.
And so the Taoist priest came and confirmed, like, there was a spirit in this house, clearly didn't want anybody in this house, and went into me to sort of get back to my mother, who had, you know, sort of taken the loan on the house and whatnot, because she was the head matriarch at that time. My father wasn't around anymore. So she was the person that handled the whole house. So they think that they were getting after her through me.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And so thankfully the Taoist priest did some stuff and managed to get it out. That was the moment that was the weird point. Because when it came out, I felt freezing. Like, it was just not below temperature. Imagine you put your aircon on to like 16. Yeah, it felt that. But there was no fan, nothing in the room at that point. But I was shivering cold.
Wow.
And I remember just being really weak and crying at that point. Because this whole situation didn't get a grasp on me until like maybe a few years later that I'm like, oh damn, that was a possession, I think. I think something really went into my body and just took over. And I will tell you first, like, it's terrifying. It is terrifying, that moment in that room where it feels paralyzing, where I couldn't move anything, I couldn't talk, I couldn't say anything, I couldn't do anything until it got taken away from me, and suddenly it was like, oh shit, I have arms.
Right.
Yeah. That, safe to say, after that experience, we left that fucking house. So, like, pardon my language, but we left that house immediately.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
As soon as you felt better, then you guys decided.
That night itself.
Oh, that night.
That night, the moment I could walk, we left. and never came back to it. I don't know how my mother settled the house with the loan and all that, but we just never went back.
So mentally, physically, emotionally, you were still there, but
I was still there.
Control.
It really felt like I was watching through somebody's eyes, if I could describe it for you.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have control at all. And the fact that to this day I have no recollection between that TV studio and the house. I don't even know how we got there. I really don't. I just remember the next moment after being on set is being on that mattress, wondering what on earth is going on. Oh, and I didn't tell you, the few days before that, there was no electricity in only that house.
Oh.
Every other house on that street had.
Of course.
The electricians came, looked at it, said the wiring's alright. DNB came as well, looked at it, said the meter okay, everything's small, okay. Tapi tak ada electricity the whole day. Until at night when everyone left, lights came on.
Right.
Like,
Man, this ghost was playing, man.
at that point I like, hey, janganlah kacau lah, I want to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a house in Bangsa.
You were in 10, you said.
I was about 10 years old, yeah.
And this is you experiencing at that age. You thought you were just sick.
I thought I was just sick at the
sick
TV
at-
studio, but when we
yeah.
got home, I was like, this feels different than just being sick.
Being sick.
This must be what really, really, really sick must be. Yeah.
Do you remember the ritual?
Not much. I just remember some chanting and some like smoke and stuff.
Right.
And there was the yellow piece of paper also. They didn't smack it on my forehead because wrong kind of spirit.
Wrong kind of spirit.
But they had some sort of paper that they burned and whatnot, and it was chanting and whatnot, and it just, the moment where it switched, you could feel it.
Yeah.
Like it felt like something had lifted. Like, not to sound cliche or anything, but it really did feel like that. Like it got lighter.
Is there a particular reason it was a Taoist priest that your mom called?
Because my mother she's delves in Taoism, Buddhism, all
Okay.
those kinds of. Our family is fairly superstitious. Like
Oh.
my Chinese side of the family,
Yeah.
incredibly superstitious. So
Of course.
you know.
Same.
Asian, man.
So that's why the second that happened,
Yeah.
call a priest. Not even a doctor, call a priest. Yeah,
But they were right.
they were right. Exactly,
The
they were
doctor
right.
wouldn't help.
Exactly. The doctor would have given me antibiotics and like, he'll be fine.
So it's funny, you mentioned earlier that somebody was trying to harm your mom, but through you.
Yeah.
So this is almost like a spiritual kidnapping.
Kidnapping in
ransom.
sense, yeah.
I'm gonna take your son, if not.
Yeah, you get out of this house if you want your. I would not want to imagine what would have happened if we didn't get the Taoist priest to come in. But if we didn't get out of that house, it would have probably gone a lot worse.
I mean, imagine if your parents were just like, oh, he's just sick, let him sleep for a while,
Yeah.
or things like that. You know, then it would have been ongoing for a lot longer.
But the fact I couldn't speak,
Yeah.
they were like, okay, something is seriously wrong. This boy never shuts up. Why?
yeah,
not?
yeah.
It's a common trend throughout my whole life.
Oh wow! So So of course you questioned your mom.
Oh yeah. And then she sort of told me what happened in between and whatnot. What happened is like, yeah, there was a spirit in you and things like that happened. And you know what the funny thing about all this is? That wouldn't be the last time I got possessed.
Oh,
Here we go. This is why we do this.
It happened again when I was doing theatre at that time.
how old were you this time?
This is 2010, 2011, so I was in my mid-20s. It gives you my age. Not young anymore, unfortunately. But I have to omit a few details,
Right.
Sure.
That's fine.
because there might be people that we all know. It's
Yeah.
also involved in this story.
Understood.
So we were working on this stage production in KLPAC. Now, if people don't know KLPAC, it's the KL Performing Arts Center. It's notoriously haunted.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's notoriously
I
haunted.
did not know
In
that.
that
Oh.
space, bro.
That's a whole other episode. I can list all the stories down for you that I've heard over the years.
Sento, right?
Sento.
So it used to be jungle there, right?
Yeah,
Mainly big.
jungle, and there were rumors, never confirmed, that used to be like a Japanese hospital, or where basically during the war and all that, that's where it would be, which is why it's very, very high activity.
So Tiffin at the yard is definitely haunted.
Yeah,
Obviously.
pretty much.
Right.
But yeah, we were working on a production at that point, and there was a bit of a scandalous thing that happened between me and somebody else and whatnot, and the other person wanted to get back at this other person through me. There's a trend. There's a trend of getting back at people.
Yeah, you see you.
Yeah. And so it worked successfully, and I knew what was happening because it was something I hadn't felt since that first possession.
Yeah.
I was walking backstage of Pentas 2, which is the second one downstairs, the theatre, and boom, I felt dizzy. And I went, oh shit, this doesn't feel like the right kind of dizzy. I felt this before. And again, I had to sit down. I told my classmates, I need to sit down, because it felt overwhelming again. And thankfully, one of the members of our cast, who does Sila and knows a lot of these spiritual sort of things, managed to get this out of me. He did some Islamic chants and whatnot, and some rituals and whatnot. I managed to I could see him. This time, thankfully, I wasn't stuck. I could still move and talk, but it was like I had a massive headache and I was so dizzy and wanted to throw up. But I could see him literally pull something out of me, like spiritually, like he kept just bringing stuff out, and he looked like he was struggling. And in the middle of it, he said, yeah, this is very, very strong. We might take a while. And I'm like, as long as you have the energy, bro, I'm so sorry. And with every mic that he had, like, it really looked like he was pulling bricks. Like, I could see his muscles just really pulling at this thing.
But you saw something tangible that
I didn't see anything tangible.
Okay,
but I just saw it. But I could feel it slowly dissipating again. So I was like, why am I an easy target? Like, why? Bro, you've got nothing with me. Deal with them, lah. Why are you dealing with me?
I know.
But it does happen. But those are the 2 times that it's happened to me.
Were there a lot of people that saw this going on?
Just about 3 or 4 people, just our close friends, because this was still early in the call time. So not everyone had turned up yet. But I'm pretty sure the security guys were wondering what the fuck is about. These performers are really into it.
Yeah. Wow, they're so method.
Yes.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your first instinct, you thought you were being possessed because of the similar symptoms of dizziness.
Yeah.
And you approached your
I said that, and then one of my friends came, and they were like, "Shit, we need help." And they knew that this particular person knew these kinds of things. Thankfully,
and that person was there already.
That person was there already. He was my classmate, so he came over and started to do it because somebody was calling him over. Going, you know how to do all this kind of stuff. Can you try and help do something?
So this is the immediate response. It wasn't like, let's go take you to the hospital.
No,
you are being attacked spiritually.
Yeah.
Boom.
See, orang Malaysia, we know.
Yeah.
When it's time for a doctor and when it's a bomo.
You know.
But those were the 2 times that I've been possessed. So far, hopefully, no more. It's tiring.
Yeah, man. It must, shit, it takes the energy out of you just to be
literally it does.
Somebody else for a bit.
It does. And like I said, that first time being trapped, I think that was the scariest of all.
Right.
Like being trapped in your own body, not knowing what's going to happen next.
How long, so the second time, how long did you have the spirit in you?
Maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes from the moment that I felt dizzy. So it was almost like, okay, we caught it early. And I think maybe the first time round, it wasn't so early. Because by the time we went from the incident happened on TV set to the moment we got home was at least about 2-3 hours. So they had time to sort of manifest and grip on, essentially. But the second one, we caught it early. And we grabbed that motherfucker like a cancer.
Okay, Nick, so here at Naik Bulu Tales, we have this tagline phrase, we believe you. So this is very interesting, the speed of how you were healed, meaning you're surrounded by loved ones who were just like, yeah, we believe you. Because easily you could have been dismissed, like Nick is a thespian, drama gila,
fever,
go to hospital. You could have had this for days. So this person was like, oh, I know somebody that can help you, and that person immediately believed you and felt it. Can not only believe you, okay, because maybe there was nothing, but he had to feel. And boom, he took it out. You know what I mean? You know how, like, have you thought about that?
It only happens in Southeast Asian culture.
Right.
Like, especially our Asian culture, we are very much believing in the paranormal, for sure. Especially spirits like this. If you talk about aliens and all that, maybe that's a different story. But in terms of spiritual stuff, I think we were all raised on it. That's the thing. So we were all led to believe it in some sense. There is something out there. Will it happen to me? Maybe not. Maybe yes. But there's something.
And Western culture, usually they're like, we'll wait it out and see what happens.
We'll see. There's something scary in this room. Let's go and investigate.
They only believe you beginning of Act 3.
Yes.
Like, oh, what?
After somebody dies. Oh, it's real. Oh no, she just fainted.
I'm not
it's fine.
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, Dude, I'm actually quite curious about the KL Pack thing. I mean, do you have a story to share about
you heard.
that you heard about? Maybe one story you can tell about that.
The details might be a little bit fuzzy, but I know
Okay.
this particular thing happened at night. One of the managers there, I remember he was closing up for the night, and upstairs the shutters that usually come down for the office just started coming down without him pressing anything,
Right.
and then started raising back up again,
Oh.
and then raised back down again, and that's when he started hearing it shaking, as if somebody's like, not heavily banging on it,
Yeah.
but as if there's a really strong wind just sort of
Rattling.
pushing it.
Yeah.
But there was nothing. There was no wind, nothing. Nobody pressed the button, nothing at all.
Okay.
But that has happened. And if I'm not mistaken, people have heard footsteps from Studio 5, which is the main studio upstairs,
Yeah.
underneath at the academy. Some people sometimes were like, they heard footsteps from there, even though nobody else was in the building. Like, it was really late at night, like 10, 11 o'clock.
Right.
They're trying to finish off rehearsals in the academy. But then as they were leaving, they hear footsteps upstairs. That's why somebody went up to go and check, and they're like, "Tak ada korang lah, bro." But they heard footsteps. Like, I feel like you can talk to people who work in KLPAC. I'm sure if they're willing to, they will share stories. Because trust me, theaters are a haven for
That's true.
spirits.
Yes.
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 So there's guaranteed. Find someone for Istana Budaya. I want to find out the Istana Budaya
That's a
stories.
good one too.
Sure God, bro.
I mean, if you do plays like, for example, like, you Break a Leg and Macbeth, and Macbeth is all about ghosts.
Yes.
So like, and witches.
Oh, can I just add one more story
Sure.
related to
Yeah,
Macbeth? Very
Please.
quick.
Let's do it.
That happened to me. Like,
Oh.
no joke. It's happened to me once before. I accidentally said it in the theater, to which my friend slapped me. I was like, damn it, I forgot. I kid you not. The next day we were driving to IKEA. My brakes just stopped working. Like, it couldn't work.
Oh no.
Thankfully, it was on I don't know if you've been to IKEA, but like the back road stretch next to the
yeah.
office buildings before the roundabout.
Right.
Thankfully, it was there. There was no car behind me, no car in front. So I just let the fucker slow down. It was from the beginning of
That's
there
scary.
to the end of it. Then when I got to the roundabout, still no brakes. I was like, shit.
Did you try the handbrake?
I tried to handbrake, nothing.
No way.
Nothing. It didn't stop. And so, thankfully it slowly rolled stop to the IKEA car park. So I was like, okay, get in, tap, then it accelerated a bit. And miraculously the brakes started working again.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, thankfully it worked. So immediately after that, I called my mechanic, asked him, hey, can you come take the car? Just double check. I don't want to drive it if it's gonna... He checked everything, brake pad, brake fluid, everything. Okay. Nothing was wrong with the car. To this day, I still can't explain that. That for that brief stretch of road,
Right.
tak ada brake.
So you had a touch of bad luck.
Yeah. Literally.
But I thought saying break a leg is a good thing.
No, break a leg is a good
Oh.
thing. Saying Macbeth in a
Oh,
theater.
right, that's right.
Yes.
You cannot say it. That's
You
the
cannot
rule.
say that. Otherwise, something will happen, and something did
And
happen to
something
me.
did happen.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a legend among thespians.
Yes, just go to Wikipedia. There's a whole page
Yeah.
of all the incidents that have happened.
And which is funny.
I should
it works
add mine
in
to that.
Asia too, Macbeth.
Yeah.
In the theater. It
It's
works.
a
It's
global
weird, right?
thing.
Very global,
Yeah.
universal curse.
Yes, not many curses are universal. Shakespeare.
that mother. If you did exist or you were a woman, Shakespeare.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's most of the stories that I have to tell.
Naik Bulu Tales is also, it's not just for entertainment, right? So it's actually a platform to create a community of those who actually go through these things alone and no one believes them.
Yeah.
So is there a takeaway you could give to I call them NBT voyeurs. I don't know if voyeur is the right word.
I mean, that one shot at the corner of the room,
So great.
it felt
It's like-
very voyeur to me. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I feel dirty.
But it's Sex, Lies, and Videotapes, right?
Yeah, you've got another shot here as well.
I
like,
know.
Very voyeuristic.
And we gotta get back to that. But yeah, when you were very blessed to be healed when you were 10, and then
Yeah.
when you're in your 20s again with people that believed you and that concerned about loved ones.
Yeah.
But when you went through it, and I'm sure a lot of people have, what's the best thing you can tell them how to get through it?
I know this is going to sound tough, and it is very tough. Stay calm. Stay as calm as you possibly can, because the more you panic, the more weak you get, easier for the whatever's in you to attach even longer. So if you stay calm, sort of hopefully have the right people around you as well, you should be okay. And always find second, third, fourth opinions.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
And sometimes when you say stay calm too, it doesn't necessarily mean physically as well. I mean,
No.
mentally
as well.
In your heart.
You gotta remain strong. That's the thing.
That is true, though.
Yeah.
We've seen enough horror where
Yes.
that's very important.
It's all the brain,
It's all
bro.
the brain.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well,
Position.
Nick Dorian.
Yeah.
Man, this is a pleasure. I love that. Why I'm excited because he replied and he was so excited. It's like yesterday the call to action went out, and a couple hours he was already here.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like this, thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me on. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
so honored to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we appreciate it. We appreciate your time, and I mean, we always appreciate people who want to share their personal experiences because we know it's a private thing. And not many people want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so I mean, if you guys have any questions about Nick's experience, feel free to comment down below. And if you want to follow Nick on Clappercorn as well,
Please
on his
do.
IG, we'll put it up next to him so you guys can follow him. Support local.
Yes.
Super local, yes.
Support
That's
local.
what we're trying to do here. Trying to always support people's passions.
If you're a cinephile, this is the man to talk to.
Yeah, watch his reviews, man. He's got a lot of reviews up for the movies coming up.
We got exciting things coming up this year, so just stay tuned for that.
Can't wait.
But guys, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like on Naik Bulu Tales, YouTube, and IG, and share.
And share and like.
Share and like. It feels like, have we done this yet? I feel like-
The outros are always the awkward ones,
Yeah,
isn't it?
you know the drill.
Yeah, you guys know the drill.
We're trying to get, like Fairil said earlier, we're trying to do more innovative videos this year,
Yeah.
just to keep it more exciting. It is 2025, so if we did the same thing we did last year, then it's not a new year. It's the same year. So we're gonna try again.
We're
gonna keep trying. That's what we always will keep trying.
Yeah, and we're always appreciative of everybody's support because that's the number one thing. Without you guys,
Yep.
we're not here. So yeah. So anyway, thanks again, Nick.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me.
It was an awesome story.
We're glad that you were healed both times.
I'm glad too.
That's good
You
to
know,
hear.
I'm
Yeah.
very glad for that.
It could have been sideways immediately.
I know. I couldn't be
Like-
here right now. Honestly, after that first one, I might not have been here. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Right?
oh,
Yeah.
If you have more stories you want to tell later on, we'll bring you back.
yeah.
Sure.
Sometime again.
More than happy.
But
I'll leave you with this. If you want to hear stories about a Singapore attraction that used to be a literal Japanese torture camp, I can bring that in.
And he leaves us with that.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys for watching. My name is Fairil,
I'm Mo.
I'm Nick Dorian.
and we'll see you guys again on another episode of
Naik Bulu
Tales.